and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. And today it's a story of two older gentlemen, one on his way up and the other very much on his way down. Of course, talking about the new American Pope, the first ever American Pope, Pope Leo XIV. He was born Robert Francis Prevost. He grew up in Chicago, went to Villanova University, and his first words to the faithful as Pope were, "Peace be with you all," which I think is a lovely sentiment. And whenever the Catholic Church can be used as a tool of peace and freedom, the world is a much better place for it. I wish him well. I look forward to seeing what his philosophy is. Of course, there are many people who are already saying that he's too liberal, but give the man a chance. I can't wait to hear how his name emerged to the very top of the list. But just a few days ago, Father Jonathan Morris, who is no longer a father, but he always will be in my heart. I will always honor him with the honorific. He has been in Vatican City. He has been reporting on the conclave. And he said a couple days ago that Pope Leo, who was then Cardinal Prevost, had gone from the dark horse to the leader of the pack, and to keep an eye on him because his chances of ascending to the papacy were very, very strong. And Father Jonathan was absolutely right. And it's great to have an American Pope. It's a wonderful thing for American Catholics and for Catholics around the world. So I celebrate with you all as a member of the Eastern Orthodox Church, where we recite the Nicene Creed, where we believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And then you have Joe Biden. So Joe Biden and Dr. Jill are on a media tour trying to head off the rumors that are telling of his long terminal decline while he was president. It's something that we all saw during the Obama presidency. And, we knew he was going to run. We could tell during Donald Trump's first term because there was no way Hillary was going to run again and get shellacked again. And Joe Biden positioned himself as a great steward of American politics and diplomacy, who would use his time in the presidency to heal divides and blah, 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 and make the country richer. He didn't do that. We were more divided than ever. People felt poorer. They didn't have any trust in his policy. His philosophy was all over the map. And all he did was complain about Trump. He was beholden to the progressives. And he did it while he was a semi-cooked vegetable. Well, now it appears that he has been fully cooked, because even on The View, when he was asked about, the multitude of books that are coming out, there are two that are already out, Fight and Uncharted, and Original Sin, that's the Jake Tapper book, that's coming out in just a few weeks. They all say the same thing. Everyone knew that he was in decline. Everyone knew that his memory and his mental faculties were failing him. And, President Trump made a good point the other day. He said he knows a lot of old people. He knows a lot of people who are older than Joe Biden, but they are smarter, they are sharper, they are more vibrant, and they are in possession of their faculties, which the 46th president was not, especially at the end of his presidency. So all those people, from Karine Jean-Pierre to his vice president to Joe Scarborough and Mika, who came out and said he is the best Joe Biden he's ever been. He is sharper than ever. He is determined. And then my favorite, he was so great behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, obviously, Joe Biden was running everything, because when he was asked on The View today about the books coming out about him and his decline, he was like, well, and then there's this one time, and we had we had a great economy and accomplished things, and then the CHIPS Act, and what I meant to say, and Joe Biden was like, what he means to say is these books were written by people who were never in the White House. Well, that's the problem with journalism. Journalism is not necessarily written firsthand. It's written because of stories of people who did experience those things firsthand, who are essentially like whistleblowers who want to go out and share their experiences and their concerns with honest members of the media in hopes that they will telegraph them to the world, because we cannot be held hostage by a leader who's not leading. And that is what happened during the Biden presidency.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
Alex Thompson from Axios, who co-wrote the book with Jake Tapper, he was one of the few people who was actually reporting on Biden's lack of faculties in real time. And, everyone else tried to either ignore him or run a counter narrative, and all of that was a lie. And I'm glad it's being exposed. It's a shame that someone like Jake Tapper, who was as guilty of covering up for Biden as anyone else, that he's now trying to do a 180 and profit off of it. I'm sure his book will sell well. I'm sure because of Alex Thompson, who's an actual journalist, it will be well sourced. But the timing is questionable. The motives are absolutely sketchy. And I also think it's sort of the they're drawing from this same toolbox to railroad Senator John Fetterman. So Fetterman lately has done the opposite of Joe Biden. He's not going leftward, he's going rightward. And that is troubling to progressives in a very close Senate and Congress, because they're worried that someone like Fetterman, who's from a swing state, if he starts voting with Republicans, that completely shifts the balance and makes progressivism really obsolete. And that is, it's like, I certainly don't agree with John Fetterman on most things. But I do think it's interesting that he's trying to tell the truth and he's trying to serve his constituents who are not, by and large, progressive. So you have a progressive staffer and some other anonymous progressives who went to New York Magazine, and they provide the material for this hit piece. And they're like, maybe John Fetterman's in decline. Well, behind closed doors, he's had outbursts and his language can be very problematic. And it's like, these are the same people who were sitting around when he had a stroke and couldn't articulate any of his problematic policies at the time, which were far more liberal. And they just sat back because they didn't care if he was cogent. They just wanted him to be a meat sack who could vote for their policies. That's all they wanted. That's why politics is disgusting, because it is self-service only. It is all about convenience. It is all about the concentration of power. Voters and taxpayers be damned. And now he very inconveniently is talking and potentially voting in the opposite direction. So they're trying to turf him by questioning his mental acuity, which makes them ableist. And they're a bunch of hypocrites. So lay off Fetterman. Don't lay off Joe Biden. No one needs him right now. There are plenty of Democrat operatives who have come out to Politico and Fox News and other news organizations, and they have said no one needs a reminder of why they voted for Trump. No one needs a reminder of why the Harris-Walz ticket failed. No one needs a reminder that Joe Biden was so incapacitated he was forced out of the race, because he doesn't answer any of those questions. Does he have regrets? Who is he mad at? Who was pulling the strings? And if the Bidens are going to get $30 million for their his and hers tell-alls, then they better start telling something. Because sitting there, again, trying to shellac a turd going, well, everything was so great. That's why they couldn't vote for me again. It was just too good. Yeah, that's why you break up with your crazy girlfriend, because the sex was so great. What a bunch of malarkey. Joe Biden can go away. He can retire. I hope he's comfortable and happy. His grifting family doesn't have a revenue stream anymore, so they're going to sell their cells in these dumb memoirs. And guess what? They won't even cover Hunter's legal bills after taxes. And that's what you get for the grift and the lies. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. Good job, Pope Leo XIV. May peace be with you all. I'm Kennedy. Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.